Alrighty. Hello guys, it is Faye here, and today I'll be doing part 6 to What If Naruto Left Konoha. So for this, I was just I was recording this earlier, but for some reason my microphone just died about 17 minutes in, which I'm pretty mad about. So I have to redo it all over again. I'm going to quickly say I might make a new What If on my channel, and I'll give Naruto either the 2 tails or 5 tails. And pretty much I'll make them the 9 tails, and I'll make the 9 tails either the 2 tails or 5 tails, if that makes sense. I think that is all I have to say, so let us get started. Rescue the Kazekage. Tensions rise, friendship and love. Sunagakure, hospital ward. There, that's the last of the poison. Take it easy, Konkro, otherwise side effects could worsen. Sakura droned to the puppeteer in a professional manner. She had an unreadable and passive visage, as if she was devoid of any emotion. Konkro just nodded and laid back down on his bed, looking over at the Konoha ninja sent to help them get the Kazekage back. There's the copy ninja, Kakashi. Sakura, of course, some pale kid I've never seen before, and legendary Sanin Jiraiya. But where's Naruto? Sakura? Kankuro grunted out, stopping the pink-haired medic from leaving. She slowly turned her attention to him, unnerving him a bit from her stoic attitude. I was just wondering, where is Naruto? Sakura flinched at the sound of that name, her entire body shutting down. Kakashi and Jiraiya, to their credit, just stiffened a bit, hiding their emotions much better than the young Konoichi. Sakura decided to look at the ground, not willing to face anyone with tears in her eyes. Naruto. He's gone. The Suna ninja present were shocked at this. Naruto Uzumaki? Gone? Tamara decided to speak up, curious. What do you mean? She was cut off by Kakashi, deciding to explain it for his broken-hearted student. Naruto left the village 2.5 years ago, and had not been seen of, and had not been seen or heard of since. He was recently made a missing nin. Your bingo book will be updated for. Will be updated for. Konkuro scoffed at that. He may not have known Naruto too well, but he had helped Gar become a better person. He had saved Gar from himself, a task no one believed possible. He refused to just give up on the missing Konoha ninja. Let me see if I'm okay. Yeah, my voice is still working. How can you say that? Naruto is your student, your friend. I'm not going to go out of my way just to hunt him down, so you ungrateful bastard. Tamari quieted him with a hand over his mouth before he could say more, but the damage was already done. Kakashi looked down in shame, deeply affected at what he had to treat his friend and student as an enemy to be killed. Jiraiya just held his stoic expression, and started agreeing with the Sunanin. He sure as hell didn't like it as well, but Naruto was an enemy now. Sakura could no longer take pain and ran out of the room, followed closely by Kakashi. Sai felt very left out since his introduction into Kakashi's squad. It seemed that the rich history of Squad 7 would forever be lost on him. He had little idea of exactly who Naruto Uzumaki really was. All he had seen was the boy's dossier. Dondo had showed him. Sai stayed in hospital with the Totei, opting to stay out of the personal affairs of his teammates. Sunagakure Street. Sakura, stop it! Kakashi was chasing after the distraught girl. She was running through the streets of Suna with total abandon of who she was bumping into or knocking over. Kakashi sighed in frustration that that puppeteer had to open his damn mouth. Since Naruto left, other than feeling terribly depressed and lonely, Sakura had plenty of time to search her soul to understand these feelings. She must have known out she had deeper feelings than the fragile relationship the two had before he left. And now that he is gone, she regrets never being able to just tell him. Every time he is brought up, it is as if she is reminded that she somehow failed in keeping her only true friend in Konoha. Naruto, your profound effect on people is as much of a curse as it is a blessing. Sakura finally reached the city's edge and leapt onto the top of the wall, followed closely by Kakashi. The girl stood on the large sand barrier, looking out into the sandy dunes of the desolate country, inwardly gathering her thoughts and feelings. Kakashi dared not say anything before she was ready, settling with standing beside her, waiting patiently for her to vent. I'm sorry, Kakashi-sensei. Kakashi frowned, completely sympathizing with the poor girl. He set a comforting hand on her shoulder. Silent encouragement to continue. I just miss him so much. His laugh, his goofy smile, his upbeat attitude, it all seemed like it was just yesterday, and I found out he was gone. And then Sakura sighed, feeling better to just admit it, feeling confident in herself, something Naruto would have, something he would expect her to have. I found out that I love him. I was just too blinded by Sasuke in my younger years to see it. Hey, I guess Naruto really can get through anybody with his magic. Huh, Kakashi sensei? Kakashi smiled a bit, glad to see the girl got that off her chest. He nodded in assent to her observation. Naruto could change anyone, and he wouldn't stop working at it until he changed you for the better. Yes, Sakura, I believe that Naruto really can change anyone. His effect on the village and its people may be lost on Konoha, but we can't forget so easily. It isn't the same without him. I hope that he is alright, however he is. Sakura looked at Kakashi, a fire in her eyes. He had a fire in her eyes he had not seen in over 3 years, and it startled him. Sakura smirked, feeling confident now that she had let out her feelings. Naruto reinvigorated her thoughts, filled her senses. Oh, Naruto reinvigorated her thoughts, filled her senses. She could practically feel the warmth of him, standing right next to her with a smile. His smile. She turned back to look across the dunes, the smirk still on her face. She raised her fist into the air, taking up the heat of the moment. And that is why I'm going to bring back Naruto Uzumaki to his home, our home. I'm going to do it too, but because I love Naruto. She held out her promise. It was swallowed up by the gusting wind of Suna's desert, but Kakashi heard it clearly and smiled, a truly happy smile. I think Naruto would be proud to hear that promise, Sakura. River Country, 1 mile away from the Akatsuki hideout. Naruto awoke from his slumber, almost falling out of the tree he had chosen for his bed. In quotes. He had also been awoken by the dispel of one of his lookout clones, and the memories sent to his brain brought a smirk to his face. Two Akatsuki members were nearby, a badly damaged Gaara in their grasp, and Naruto began to stretch and mentally prepare himself, going over his plan one more time in his head. Alright, I already took a look at the hideout. It appears to have a security seal that I'll have to remove first. I've already sent clones to help me with that. After they get inside, I'll break the boulder and execute my special attack that I've been waiting to test out. My only priority is to get Gaara out of there with his Biju intact and still inside him. Killing the Akatsuki will be a bonus. Naruto moved from his current location to the tree overlooking the large boulder of the hideout entrance, silently awaiting the arrival of the two enemy shinobi. He didn't have to wait long, however, as the two cloaked figures slowly made their way across the river and entered the hideout, closing the door, in quotes, behind them. I'll give them a few minutes to get settled. No point in rushing. Hunter Nin training taught me that much. Rushing into battle will just get me killed. 10 minutes ticked away, and Naruto just finished up waiting. He made his way down the boulder and began to get his attack preparations finished. Naruto placed his hand into a cross-shaped sign for his trademark technique and whispered it under his breath. Multi-shadow clone. Easily 100 Naruto clones were created, and Naruto divided them into 3 groups. Naruto moved up the boulder and gripped the seal. His shadow clones that were at the 4 other seals were doing the same, and he had a mental countdown. 3, 2, 1, now! Naruto ripped the seal off, satisfied when no trap or danger presented itself. The removal was a success. Naruto silently dropped to the ground. Walking up to the boulder, he had placed his hand onto the solid rock, making his earth chakra to change the density of the rock. At first, there was nothing to be seen in its appearance, but after a few seconds, Naruto could visibly see the rock melting and changing into thick mud, courtesy of his chakra. Upon revealing the inside of the cave, once the boulder was gone, Naruto and his clone moved away from the opening and peered inside, scoping at the base. Naruto observed there was a large statue over towards the end of the cave. The two Akatsuki members stood on one of the fingers of the objects. Holograms of humanoid figures were located in the rest. Naruto's eyes widened when he saw a blue orb of chakra energy, and to his horror he found Gaara in the middle of it, his Biju chakra being slowly absorbed. Holy crap, ow. Holy crap, I bent my leg, or not leg, my foot in a weird angle and now it hurts like hell. Holy crap. Okay, that's a first. Okay. The Akatsuki appeared to be in a total concentration, but Naruto would not be fooled. They surely knew of his presence by now. Naruto had made a few hand motions to the clones. The attack would start now. 5 of his clones left in front of the doorway, gathering themselves in a stance, and held up a hand sign that few got to see before their deaths. They whispered the jutsu at the exact same time, a deep mist settling to the cave and outside on the river. Ninja art, hidden mist. They held their stances, keeping the mist so thick that an untrained shinobi would barely able to see past his face, let alone pass a few feet in front of him. Naruto, however, had practically lived in the mist during his swordsman training. He did need to see. His other senses were all that he required. Okay, still checking if yeah. Okay, still recording. Uh, two more dozen of Naruto clones kept leaping in front of the first five, holding as many three-pronged kunai as they could fit in their hands. Naruto took his place for the final group, a good 75 or so clones with all their broadswords out and at the ready. Naruto quickly formed the shield for a last-minute jutsu, and a few more clones were created, mixing themselves with the rest. Time for my combo. Let's see you counter this. Akatsuki, Hirshin, Blitzkrieg. Naruto yelled out his combo technique, startling the Akatsuki at his blunt move of revealing himself formally. The 2 dozen kunai throwers began to throw special kunai into the cave, not much minding the direction of how not much minding the direction, so much as getting away as many as they could into the hideout. Naruto smirked as he and over 80 clones disappeared in yellow flashes, and the chaos had begun. 5 minutes ago, Akatsuki hideout interior. Gee, Sasori Senpai, why does this always have to take so long, huh? Deidara asked the turtle-like man, gripping over the stupid jutsu used to absorb tailed beast chakra. Sasori merely glanced at the younger man's direction, silently annoyed by his whining. Would you just shut up, Deidara? It will get done when it's done. The two settled for an uncomfortable silence, until they both felt temptation of a chakra source nearby. Not just a passerby. The chakra was directly on the other side of the boulder, and appeared to be unfazed by the security seal placed outside of the boulder. Sasori Senpai. I know. Let's just continue the jutsu. See what this could interruption See this grammar's weird. See what this could interruption could result in. Like the fuck does that mean? What sorry. The two eventually felt a light warmth against their backs and somewhat of a glare inside the cave as they turned to see the boulder, completely missing, and sunlight seeping in, startling the two. The shinobi interloper was nowhere to be seen, but it was evident the person was out there, hiding. Earth chakra manipulation. It's the only way to just make solid rock disappear without a sound. Uh, Deidara commented, he himself being earth-natured. Sasori silently agreed with his analysis. Their lapse in concentration was detected by pain, and he questioned the two on their status. Sasori, Deidara, I no longer feel a chakra. What is wrong? Sasori, being the elder member, spoke up. We seem to have an unwanted visitor, Leader Sama. Pain appeared to be in a quiet deliberation for a few seconds. He turned to Sasori. Eliminate the threat as you see fit. We'll continue the extraction process. Sasori nodded and Deidara smirked, excited to get a real fight. Suddenly, a thick mist enveloped the inside of the cave, separating the two Akatsuki from one another, surprising the two at the sheer thickness of the vapor. Whoever is doing this obviously is either very strong or full of himself. No one can properly fight in this, Sasori commented, silently impressed by the interloper already. Damn it, with this crap I won't even be able to see my beautiful art when it explodes, They heard a loud sound echo through the cavern. The name of Jutsu sending a chill down Deidara's spine. No, my father told me of that technique, but the guy's supposed to be dead. From the thick mist came dozens upon dozens of oddly shaped kunai, making Deidara visibly shake at the horror stories told by the older Iwa shinobi survivors of the Third Shinobi War. Sasori actually was not keen on the details of his jutsu and dodged the kunai, curious to his point behind to the point behind the interesting weapons. Datara's encounter. It happened in flash. Datara observed a flash of yellow before he felt the cold slice of blade and young pulling warmth by his right arm's elbow. He looked up to see nothing. At first he thought the mist was playing a trick on him, but to his horror, he lifted up his arm to see the stub of what was left. His arm had been cut from the elbow down, and he screamed from unbridled shock and fear. He looked to see another flash and was just barely able to avoid being decapitated before he calmed himself, quickly substituting himself a clay clone that blew up in the face of one of Naruto's shadow clones. I just accidentally unplugged my mic. Alright, I replugged it and I'm not sure if it'll enter change, but okay, let's see. Um he looked up to another flash and was just barely able to. Oh no, I already saw this. Or I already read this. Deidara felt a pain stab him in the lower abdomen. As he looked up to see one of the kunais had embedded itself in his abs, stuck firmly inside of his body. He looked frightened at the weapon, as if he was standing on a landmine, praying to Kami that it wouldn't blow up. Kami means God. Oh shit! Deidara was unable to finish the sentence as he looked up to see three flashes, one in front and one on his left and right. The rest was black. Sasori's fight. Sasori heard Deidara's agonized scream, but could do nothing except continue to dodge the kunai and figure out a plan. The first time he saw a flash, he did not know what to expect, and his outer puppet shell paid for it. A clean gash from the start to finish of the puppet on its left side, revealing the true puppeteer inside. Damn it, this kunai appeared to allow the enemy to teleport somehow sunshine to, to its location. And I can't dodge the kunai until it's almost too late, when I can finally see those damn things. The bastard already has teleported me and sliced up my puppet. His ingenuity is amazing. I find myself actually worrying if I could lose. Sasori didn't even bother stabbing at the flashes, for he knew his reflexes were too slow to stop the enemy. But when the opportunity finally presented itself for him to hit something, he would take it without hesitation. A shadow of a figure stood right outside of Sasori's visibility, like a scorpion attacking its prey. He sent his tail whipping into its center mass. The redhead smirked when he felt it collide with something, and slowly pulled his tail back to observe the enemy and look him in the face as he died. From the mist came what appeared to be a carrier hunter nin, perfectly impaled and non moving on his poison stinger. His smirk soon changed to a gaping mouth as the ninja melted, its outer skin turning into a dark red substance that was glowing with heat and energy. Sasori could hear the hiss of melting material and looked in horror to find the end of his tail melting from the intense heat of what appeared to be lava or some superheated rock. Steam rising from the intense heat, the end of his tail fell off, dropping to the ground and melting away along with whatever was left of the clone. What the hell was that? It must have been some nature chakra, but lava? Who the hell can... Hatsuru was cut off from his investigation as five yellow flashes and slow-mo watched as the hunter nin threw back their sword and brought them around in a vertical slashing arc, slicing right through his puppet and skewering much of his own body in the process. Miraculously, his heart remained intact, but his outer puppet buckled and fell loose from the stress fractures across its frame, revealing the broken redhead and his rare stoic face, now in a managed look of horror at the enemy combatant. Naruto slowly made his way to what was left of the enemy puppeteer, a scowl on his features. The man had captured someone who could possibly count as his best friend, other than his sensei and his fiancée, and a fellow Jinchuriki. He deserved no quarter, and he would receive none. Naruto kept his distance, wary of any final traps from the ninja, bringing in nearby clones and had them surround the man, hopefully confusing him to who was the original. Naruto observed the nearly broken tail, smirking at the obvious encounter he had with one of his lava clones. He mixed it in with his shadow clone right before they attacked, just in case one of them were taijutsu users. Who who are you? The Katsuki man asked. Naruto was shocked he was still alive, let alone able to talk, but he remained stoic and quiet to his man's question, deciding to halter his broadsword and hold up his right hand. A chakra spike could be felt. Sasori looked on, curious to what his enemy was doing, feeling eerily confident in the face of certain death, intent on seeing what the victor of the one-sided battle could do. You are scum, Akatsuki, and you will now die by my hand, as will the rest of this evil organization. Great Rasengan! Naruto plunged a large Rasengan into the man's heart, or at least where his heart should be, and he was satisfied to see what was left of the man's puppet body go limp. Naruto gave a silent order, and the mist slowly dissipated, revealing the statue again, and the rest of his clones gone, their spent kunai having disappeared along with them. Naruto looked around the battlefield, impressed with his show of strength. This this was the first time he had used his Hirishin in real combat, and it also turned out to be a deciding factor that gave him victory. Okay, so yeah. Sasori, Deizar, have you defeated the interloper? Naruto could hear the dissembled voice coming from the statue's fingers. Probably his leader, he mused. Naruto looked to the two bodies of the mad lackeys, satisfied with his work. This is one biju that will not be taken, you bastards. Naruto felt quite exhausted from the fight and quickly brought up his hands for his most important part of the operation, rescuing Gaara. Shadow clone technique. Naruto created 10 clones, each holding their right hand and forming larger than normal Rasengans in their palms, and Naruto created the largest one yet, an official massive Rasengan, big enough to envelop the entire chair too. All of Naruto launched themselves at different parts of the statue, Naruto himself aiming for his center eyes. Pain's eyes widened as he felt the statue buckle from the sheer power of the jutsu attack, the final factor resting in the arms falling off the man's body, revealing Pain's chakra link caused the object to disappear, automatically canceling the jutsu. Naruto collapsed onto the ground, quite out of energy from after his battle, but proud at his accomplishment. He crawled over to Gaara, who had fallen to the ground from midair. The boy appeared to be knocked out from sheer pain. No doubt his Biju was pissed that some of his chakra got sucked away and was resting itself to regain what it had lost. Hey Gaara, wake up! Naruto slapped from his face around a couple of times, and he smiled when the redhead started to show signs of consciousness, his eyelids flickering open. Gaara weakly looked around, moving only his neck. Everything else hurt too much. His eye landed on the masked Naruto, and they widened into saucer shapes. Naruto just remembered his mask and took it off. Hey Gaara, it's me, Naruto. Gaara's memories came back, both of cheerful Uzumaki and of the events leading up to him being here. He remembered blank cloaks of red clouds and attempted to sit up, only to flinch in pain and be pushed back down by Naruto. Hey, you're in no position to be moving. It'll take some time for both of us to recuperate. Gaara only nodded, and he looked at the new Naruto, eyeing his Kiri headband with curiosity narrowed eyes. Why? Is he allied with Kiri? When did this happen? Naruto, did you kill them? Naruto only smiled and nodded, and Gaara actually smiled too, gripping Naruto's hand in a friendly, reassuring grip. That's good. Damn good. I'll tell you all about it when we both get some rest. Now hang on, I'm going to get us the hell out of here. Naruto lazily gripped the Kazekage and lifted both of them up, straining to channel their combined weight. Naruto formed the ram hand sign to gather chakra, borrowing some from his Biju, reminding himself to thank the QB later. In a swirling vortex of water, the two were gone, leaving nothing but two managed corpses. But two man no mangled corpses in an empty cave. River Country Forest. 1 hour later. And that is how I rescued you. Naruto just finished explaining how he set out from Kira and defeated the Akatsuki, and Kazekage was impressed. The two had sat in the thick forest of river, beneath a shady tree. They had been resting and talking with one another, enjoying the peace and quiet. Naruto, thank you. You're truly a friend, my best friend. Naruto smiled and gripped Gaara's hand, a meaningful gesture. Jinchuriki have to stick together, right? Gaara smirked at this. Are you sure you weren't trying? Are you sure you weren't trying to brown nose the Kazekage into an alliance with Kiri? Naruto scoffed at it. It hadn't even crossed his mind. Nope, I came on my own accord. Someone had to pull your ass out of the fire. The two laughed at that, and Naruto was glad that the traumatic event had not affected Gaara. They were silent after that, silently reflecting on what had happened. Gaara was the first to speak up, his curiosity getting the better of him. Naruto, why do you wear the Kiri symbol? Naruto quirked an eyebrow and readjusted his headband, thinking of the best way to explain. Well, it's a long story, Gaara. Being the rare Joker attempted to move his weak legs and just shrugged at the blonde, who was already smirking. Well, I can't move, so I don't have anywhere else to be. Alright, smartass. It all started around 2.5 years ago. 1 hour later. Wow. Gaara had listened to the whole tale of Naruto finding out about his bloodline and going to Kira find with to live and find love with none other than Mizukage herself. If you were any other man, I would not believe you for a second. Naruto, Naruto, is this really what you wanted? To leave Konoha? Naruto looked at Gaara with an unreadable expression before settling for a soft smile and a nod. The only thing I regret is not giving my precious people in Konoha a proper goodbye. But I had to leave. And now I am where I am. I couldn't be happier. Gaara nodded. He would trust Naruto's decision. Well then, you have my support. Know that Konoha sent reinforcements to rescue me. That could pose a problem for you. Naruto nodded, but did not change his mind. I'm escorting you back to Suna myself, no matter what it takes. I'm not leaving until I'm sure you will be alright. Gaara smirked, flexing his muscles, and slowly getting up from the ground. Then what are we waiting for, Naruto Uzumaki of Kirigakure? A funeral? Naruto got a laugh out of that, and he got up too. Yeah, let's go, Kazekage-sama. The two friends set out at a sedate pace through the trees, intent on getting back to Suna safe and sound. Sunagakure, 2 days later. Okay, we'll head out and get Kazekage back. Don't wait up. Wait, don't wait up, Gara. What the fuck? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What? Okay, we'll head out to Okay, we'll head out get the Kazekage back. Don't wait up, Gara. Tamari had shouted over her shoulder to Tsuna, gathering before turning back to see her brother, unharmed and walking through the village streets. Tamara the ran up to him and hugged him, the redhead tight, tears streaming down her face. The present Suna Shinobi ran up and greeted their Kazekage back, thinking that he had defeated Ziakatsuki and come back on his own. The Konoha nin stood away from the large gathering, confused as to why his Kage was here and why he was supposed to, and why he was here when he was supposed to be kidnapped. God damn, I can't freaking talk. Alright, please calm down, everyone. Gara eased the crowd and kept walking up to his Konoha ninja, intent on seeing his would-be rescuers. Kakashi and Jirai gave respectful bows to the teenage leader. Sakura forced sign to his knees and bowed herself, an irritated smile on her face. Kakashi, I see this is the squad that was sent to help in my rescue operation. Kakashi and Jirai both nodded, affirming Kazekage's assumption. Kakashi stepped forward, intent on asking a burning question on everyone's mind. Kazekage-sama, not that I doubt your ability, but how were you able to escape from the Akatsuki? Gaara looked at him and held back a smirk, silently apologizing to the hidden Naruto, but this had to be done. I had a little help. Come out, Naruto Uzumaki. The Konoha and Tsunen ninjas were shocked to hear that Naruto was actually here, and everyone began to look around for the blonde. Sakura's eyes widened, and she felt herself hyperventilate. Suddenly afraid and nervous to see her old teammate. Naruto-kun is here? Damn it, Gaara, I thought we would agreed that I would hide. I'm a missing nin to these guys. Or did that little piece of information slip your mind? Naruto complained, coming out from the abnormally dark alleyway, giving everyone their first glimpse at the boy in almost 3 years. Gar smirked. Naruto would never change. Sorry, I guess that it did slip my mind, but does it matter? You're under my protection here in Suna. Naruto stopped playfully and flashed to stand next to Gaara, arm leaning on the redhead's shoulder. Oh, thank you, Kazekage-sama. I am forever in your debt. No, this just makes us even. Naruto and Gaara laughed a bit, confusing everyone further. Naruto, the Jinchuriki, turned to see the Konoha ninjas in battle stances, intent on arresting him. Kakashi stood with his Sharingan prepared and a kunai out. Jirai had formed the Rasengan and began the transition into stage mode. Sakura had slipped on her glove, but she looked conflicted. Sai stood with the ink scroll ready, prepared to arrest the traitor. How can I help you, Kakashi? Jirai stalked forward, glaring murder into Naruto's veiled eyes, who stood unaffected, completely expecting this from his own old comrades. Why the hell are you a Kiri ninja, Naruto? What happened to Konoha? What happened to becoming Hokage? What happened to your friends? Naruto stood unaffected, setting for just taking off his mask and looking at his own comrade with a blank stare. Sakura silently gasped after seeing his face, already marveling his body's wonderful physique. She had now seen that he had grown up so handsome. Naruto-kun, amazing. I have already explained my reason for leaving Konoha Tsunade in my letter, and becoming Kiri Ninja wasn't my original intention. But it happened and it turned out for the better. Konoha couldn't believe what they were hearing. For the better? It doesn't matter. We are taking you back, Naruto-kun. Lady Tsunade can pardon you. You can come back with us, back home, please. Sakura cried out, tears streaming down her face. Naruto quirked an eyebrow. Naruto-kun? When did that happen? Sorry, but I don't plan going back to Konoha. I have found my place in Kiri, and I've also found the love of my life, and I won't give that up just because a few of you want me back. They were confused. Love of his life found his place. Jirai growled, fed up with the boy's stubborn attitude. Who was coming home, conscious or not? Then we will just have to take you. The Konoha ninja stalked forward, and Naruto placed his mask back on, and moved his hand to the broadsword on his back, ready to fight. I don't think so, Suna. Or I don't think so. Suna assumed Konoha is our enemy. Naruto is our ally, and he will not be taken while he is inside our village. That is final. The large contingent of Sunanin behind Gaara and Naruto, easily numbering over 100, all smiled and took up a formation surrounding the Konoha squad, surprising them at the quick change in allegiance. Allegiance, I don't fucking know. Sorry, I'm changing positions so I can be like more comfortable. This man, Naruto Uzumaki, while not known by the majority of the ninja population of Tsuna, had saved their Kage's Kage, and was obviously his friend, and they would not overlook that so easily. You will not take Naruto. I suggest you leave, Tamari suggested, standing among the gathered Tsuna ninja. She would be forever in Naruto's debt for saving her little brother, and she wouldn't allow Konoha to take him back if he didn't want to. How can you say that? Naruto couldn't belong back in Konoha. Gar interrupted the sputtering girl, laying it out for them. I think Naruto can make his own decision now. He doesn't need he doesn't need your help. The life of a Jinchuriki, people like us, is traumatizing, fatal to some even. If not for Naruto, I would be either dead or insane now. And I'm amazed to this day that Naruto did not turn out from the way I did. From what I've seen Konoha treat him, you expect him to just stay in Konoha and take their anger, their hatred, their animosity just to satisfy your needs? If that is true, then you are selfish. Close-minded fools. If Naruto is happy in Kiri, then he should stay in Kiri. And I for one support him. Gar finished his feat by setting a reassuring hand on Naruto's shoulder, making Naruto look at him, tears streaming down his masked face and falling to the ground fall, masked face and falling to the ground. Holy shit, I can't talk. Oh my god, I want to die right now. Gara, Naruto, you really want to just stay in Kiri? Don't you want to stay in Kiri? Don't you? Kakashi asked rhetorically and received a nod from his old student. The silver haired man sighed and moved his hand to his headband, slowly placing it back over his Sharingan eye. If that's the case, good luck. I wish you well, Naruto. The man gave Naruto his famous eye smile and a thumbs up. The other might be willing to let you go, but as far as I'm concerned, as soon as you're outside of this country, I'm going to drag your ass back to Konoha so you can beg on your knees for forgiveness to Tsunade. It is the least she and everyone else deserves. Jiraiya groaned out, disappointed in Kakashi giving up so easily. He looked to see Sakura barely holding herself together. Naruto frowned. He may have lost the crush he had on the girl, but he didn't like to see her cry. So turning to her, Naruto took off his mask and hugged her tightly against his body. Sakura gasped, looking up from the embrace into Naruto's eyes, feeling as though she was in complete bliss. She wrapped her own arms around Naruto, intent on having this moment last forever. She leaned up to kiss his tantalizing lips, but she was disappointed when he moved out, so she received his cheek instead. Sorry, Kate. Sakura's a clown. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be hating on her, but I don't know, I don't like her. Well, in Shippuden, she's pretty eyed, but holy shit. In Naruto, she is useless. I'm so mean to her. One second. Why, Naruto-kun? Don't you love me anymore? Naruto sighed and backed up a bit, still holding the girl, but properly looking into her eyes. She had to see that he meant this. I'm sorry, Sakura, but the love I felt for you once had changed to something akin to brotherly love. I have already found the one I will spend the rest of my life with, and I'm engaged to Sakura. If Sakura had felt devastated from his first announcement, she was destroyed when she heard that he was engaged. Ow! Oh my god! I just opened something and got so many notifications. What the heck? Sorry. I'm sorry, Sakura, but the love I felt. Oh no, sorry. To who? She yelled out a bit too loudly, her anger getting the better of her. To Mei Uzumaki, the fifth Mizukage. Everyone's eyes widened at that. In Uzumaki and Ikage, but Sakura was cut off when she felt a finger on her lips, keeping her from embarrassing herself. She couldn't argue with him. I'm sorry, Naruto-kun. I just miss you so much. She clung onto his chest, feebly grasping at him, trying to feel him one last time. Naruto just hugged her again, trying to think of something to make her feel better. Then he was struck by an idea. I may not come back with you, but I can give you this. Naruto took out one of his three-pronged kunai and handed it to Sakura, who took it, looking at him with a confused face. Kakashi's eyes went wide-eyed when he saw the kunai. Flashbacks of his sensei came in mind. The Yondaime's kunai. Why did Naruto have it? Naruto, what is this? Naruto laughed a bit, and Sakura pouted, not feeling very good at being laughed at. This silly is a kunai made with a very special seal that allows me to teleport to places with just a simple throw of it. If you are ever in trouble, just throw his kunai somewhere nearby and I'll come to the rescue. Sakura gripped the kunai tightly after the explanation, not planning on losing her one link to Naruto anytime soon. Naruto, you know the Hirshin? Naruto turned around to look at Jiraiya and Kakashi. And they were both shocked and knew of the technique, let alone how to use it. Yeah, Dad left it for me to learn, so I did. Kakashi's eyes widened, and Jiraiya's turned into saucers. Naruto's father is Minato Sensei? How the hell did Naruto find out? Damn it, Kushina. No way, Minato Sensei and Kushina's son? Ew! Kakashi went into a mental breakdown over that thought, making Naruto just laugh at him. Naruto walked over to Gar and handed him another one of his special kunai, and he received a nod from the Sun user. In case the Akatsuki come back, or if you just want to hang out sometimes, I'll mark Suna's gate as well so I can visit. Gar smiled at that, glad to hear Naruto wouldn't forget about them. Here, Naruto, I prepared this on a trip. Give it to Mizukage. Gar handed a small scroll with the Kazekage seal on it, making Naruto look at Gar with surprise. Gar, you came in. He stopped talking when Gar held up a hand for quiet. He looked at Naruto with a smile, and he revealed that his friend of Naruto's is a friend of Suna and mine. Naruto just smiled, glad to hear Gar talk about how strong the friendship really was. It made him feel pretty damn good. Naruto turned around to the Konoha ninja, waving goodbye. Jiraiya looked prepared to give a chase, but Naruto just stuck his tongue out at him before placing his mask back on, and disappeared in a yellow flash, leaving Konoha and Suna without their Kiri companion. So that was Naruto. Too bad he's engaged, Tamari said after a silence that had enveloped the crowd. Sakura glared at her. Oh, 1 second. Get in line tomorrow. I saw him first. Two girls got in a glaring match, while Kakashi just looked at Jiraiya. He was fuming with frustration and anger. Damn it, he was so close, and now Tsunade will find out that he works for Kiri. Not a good day. Jirai-sama, should we head out? The white-haired man looked at Kakashi and sighed, nodding his head. Kakashi moved to assemble his squad and finished their goodbyes to the Suna people. Albeit it was like walking thin ice after they had threatened Naruto. Jiraiya took one last look at the sun that had hung in the sky, silently going over the day, and just how bad it had been for Konoha. Not a good day at all. Kirigakure, 10 minutes after Naruto left Suna. Mei was currently sitting in her office, finishing up her paperwork, when a yellow flash made her look up and see her fiance, looking at her with what had to be seen as a smirk under his mask. I'm home, Mei. I'm home, Mayheim. Mei smiled and leapt into Naruto's outstretched arms, overjoyed to have him back. She had been scared of the outcome, since it had taken long for him to come home. Almost a week had passed. She had much begun to fear for his safety, but knew that but now that she felt herself wrapped in his embrace, she no longer had to worry. Naruto Koi, I've missed you so much. Mei quickly tore off his mask and laid a kiss on his lips, overjoyed to the taste of her lover again. Naruto smirked. You sure did. You sure did. I haven't felt that much aggressiveness from you since our second time. May smirked at the memory. She had wanted it so bad after the first time she had practically molested him in the morning shower, but he got into it real quick. Well, you were gone for most of the week. Someone had to make up for that lost time, she said with a smile, and bemoaned when she felt Naruto's hungry lips attack her own. He lifted her onto the Mizukage desk and began to make out with her, glad that she had finished her good duties for the day. May broke away from Kiss in Light's hand. Seeing that neither were escaping from their primal instincts, she began to formulate a plan of action. Home, the bathroom, the broom closet, she spouted off secluded spots in desperation. Naruto just shook his head to all three. Too far, me want pussy now. Naruto tackled her onto the desk, kissing her and taking off his pants at the same time. Naruto, not there. The day Naruto returned from saving Gaara would be the day the Uzumaki couple Christian the Mizukage deaths for something out there in the paperwork. They had they had did it for over 5 times. They did it over 5 times just to be sure. Konoha. Jiraiya was dreading every step he took towards the Hokage Tower, afraid of Tsunade's reaction to the news. While his mission technically a success, the news on Naruto he had to give to her would not be taken very well. He was immediately let in to see Tsunade and began to relay the mission and its contents to the half-listening Tsunade, delaying Naruto until the last part. As soon as he uttered the words Naruto and Kiri, she exploded, her face in an unbridled fit of rage, and her scream echoed Konoha. Some even felt tremors of earthquakes and an echo of the scream Tsunade let out. What? Kirigakure, Mizukage's feet. Sixth round. Make quiet. Oh, please don't tell me this is lemon. Because I'm probably not gonna say lemon again because that's like, that's awkward. May quieted her moans for a moment as she felt a very ominous danger tug at her heart. Naruto was confused as to what she was doing. She had been on top and stopped ramming herself onto the dick. May, what's wrong? The redhead looked back down at Naruto and frowned, unsure of what to feel. It's nothing, Naruto, just a bad feeling, that's all. Naruto frowned but then smirked. He would make her feel better. Naruto began to ram up into her, instantly making her forget about her worries and focus more on the resounding pleasure Naruto was giving her. Ah, Naruto, she began to meet his thrust, finding a rhythm in her own movement as they brought each other closer to an orgasm. Naruto leaned up and captured her taut nipple in his mouth, nipping and sucking on the wonderful breast that ensnared his attention whenever he saw her naked. His pleasure increased when she rode him. They always jiggled and bounced, enticing Naruto to take a bite, which he did many times. So good, feels so May could no longer take the feeling. His hand massaging her ass, his thrust deep inside her, and his mouth dominating her breast, just too much, and May came with everything she had. Naruto soon following with his own moan of pleasure. Soon after about a good time, the Mizukage forgot about any danger or bad omen she might have sensed, but they had not forgotten her. Okay, maybe next time I'll just read the thing before making what if on it so I can know which parts are lemon. So yeah, I only read this because I didn't think it was like a lemon because it looked pretty short, but clearly I was mistaken. Short add-on takes place while Naruto was away. The Mizukage walked along the street, heading to her office at the start to start the day. Another day without Naruto. She had woken up from their fun after he had left and cursed herself for giving into blissful unconsciousness. She didn't even get to say goodbye to him. As she walked, she absently picked up on the random conversation of villagers and shinobi, having nothing better to do. Did you hear? Lady Chio finally found herself a man. They're getting engaged. Soon enough they will be gone on the honeymoon, an aging mother told her sister. Her little daughter was growing up far too fast. The other women just giggled and gossiped some more. May looked at the ground, silently brooding. A man engaged? Engagement Naruto Koi gone? Yeah, man, I was just reading in its latest release of my favorite manga. The girl was like, "Shut up or I'll kill you." The look on his face was priceless. Some civilian teenagers talked about something May didn't care about. But she heard kill? But did she hear kill? A man engaged, Naruto Koi gone, killed? The musicographer practically stalked up the stairs, taking notice of Chojuro speaking of Ao, a hunter nin by the other door of her office. She leaked a killing intent that could scare Madara Uchiha. I'm telling you, Naruto is going to catch up to my kill tally back at headquarters. He even beat me in getting engaged first. The swordsman just shrugged to the older man's complaints, now focusing on the Mizukage who had walked up behind Ao, her voice taking cheerful tone, and she wore a friendly smile on her face. The blonde swordsman was confused. She looked like she was practically radiating evil a second ago. Ayo, shut up or I'll kill you. And with that, the Buster walked off with a smile on her face and continued walking to her desk, completely oblivious to the two shinobi looking after her with surprise or in swordman case, terrified expressions. Ayo just kept staring at the wooden door the woman had closed, mouth gaping confusing. What the hell did I do? Alright, so this is the end of the chapter. I hope you guys enjoyed. My mouth is fucking dead right now. I'm gonna have to get some water. I'm going to get water for next time, and I'm fucking tired. It's literally only 10:38. I have school tomorrow, so I will see you all next video. Goodbye.